We can't start without him, but this court we actually start. The court must come, you know, that thing that he started. That thing. Even if you tell him it's Lordship, the accused number 3 is not here yet. I'm informed, Your Worship, that there's a delay at prison, Your Worship. Therefore, he's not yet here. So we'll request an adjournment, Your Worship, for him to be brought
till he comes.
Correct, Your Worship.
Mr. Chirwa, any instructions from your side? From the accused?
Your Worship, I was also just informed that there was a slight delay at the prison where the accused number 3 is kept. Your Worship. Request for the court to adjourn up until his arrival. Court pleases.
Well, then you have to adjourn to wait for accused number 3. Mr. Mills, Mr. Fenton, Mr. Chirwa, and Mr. Ngobo, is what we discussed in chambers a short while ago. If there is any application that wants to be brought in order to protect the interests of the accused, then you can bring it formally on record. Obviously, affidavits obviously can be submitted by the accused regarding whatever concerns there are, and then the court will consider them should you wish to bring any application. That's the court. Please, court is in Gogo. You will inform the court as soon as you are able to.
Correct, Your Worship. here in 2 minutes after the court. But the thing is, as long as you are done by 11, I'm fine.
I'll sit.
As long as you are done by 11, I'm fine. But I'm not going to compromise
Wat
umsebenzi wakho.
Exactly.
Tharina Human, Laetitia, and Pieter, Jacobus, Your worship, this matter was rolled over today for further process in relation to the state witness worship or the investigation officer worship.
Thank you, ma'am. For purposes of the record, we'll just put the appearances back. Ms. Tharina Human. It is you, Ms. Laetitia Nell, and Mr. Pieter Jacobus van Zyl. Thank you. You can take a seat. Okay, you can proceed.
Your worship, it was for further cross-examination, Your worship.
Mr. George Sir, before we remind you once again that you are still under.
Constable Mokau, I just want to clarify, stood to evidence correct yesterday that there's two important witnesses who made statements and who are willing to testify that you feared if accused number one is granted bail, she will intimidate him.
Correct, Your Worship.
The one witness, or the one important witness, is the witness that gave you the information about the plans for the kidnapping.
Correct, Your Worship.
The second important witness is accused number one's brothers, or the mother of accused number one's brother's child. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
Is there anger between or from the side of the second witness, the mother of the child of accused number one's brother, towards accused number one?
I wouldn't say it's an anger, Your Worship, but she was also nearly became a victim of this child.
The question is there anger from her side towards accused number one? Yes or no?
I do not know, Your Worship.
You don't?
There is an anger.
Because it's my instructions to put it to you that there is no anger. Not from the side of accused number one towards that witness.
I do not know about that.
Further, it's also my instructions now to put to you that, and first of all I have to put this on record, I have not at all consulted with the witness or any state witness. But it came to my knowledge, and it's my instructions to put it to you, that the second witness, in other words, the witness who is the mother of the child of accused number one's brother, only made a statement in regards of the identification of a telephone number.
Can you repeat, Your Worship?
The second important witness on your evidence, the mother of the child of accused number one's brother, that witness, only made a statement with regards to the identification of a cell phone number.
That's not correct, Your Worship.
It's not correct.
Yes, Your Worship.
So in other words, And it's my instructions that that witness is available at court.
I'm not sure, Your Worship, I didn't see.
Constable Motlow, in other words, if her statement contains important evidence, other evidence except for identification of telephone numbers, or if it does not contain more evidence than the identification of cell phone numbers, then your evidence will not be correct. You agree with me?
Correct, Your Worship.
And that will mean, if that is the case, you have been lying to the court.
Correct, Your Worship.
Thank you. Lastly, it's my instructions and now my submission, and I want to put it to you, that accused number 1 will be no danger to the public or to her individual safety. There is also no likelihood that she will evade a trial.
Your Worship, I've already made my submission that there is a likelihood that she might evade the trial. Charges that the accused number 1 is facing, Your Worship, serious charges, Your Worship. There's a likelihood that she might evade the trial, Your Worship.
You will agree with me. Everyone or anybody who's facing a charge, any charge against him, and is appearing in a court of law, it will be fearful about what is going to happen in court.
Yes.
Yeah. And lastly, I want to put it to you that accused number 1 will not interfere with any of the witnesses or destroy any evidence whatsoever. Accused number 1 will not interfere with any witnesses, especially in regards of your fear for the 2 important witnesses. She will not interfere with them, she will not intimidate them, and she will not destroy any evidence.
Your Worship, I've already mentioned during my submission yesterday, Your Worship, that there is a likelihood, Your Worship, that she will intimidate, Your Worship, state witnesses, Your Worship.
I just approach my colleague, Your Worship.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship. I've got no further questions.
Mr. Pieter.
Thank you, Your Worship. Constable, if I understood your evidence in Maine correctly, the investigation into this matter has been completed, except for the 2 outstanding matters, the cell phone records and the SAP 69s.
Correct, Your Worship.
That means that you have taken the statements of all the witnesses that you've identified and that you would need at the trial.
Your Worship, yes, Your Worship. I may also put it, Your Worship, that there might also, witnesses that might come on board, Your Worship, before trial. It's possible that they might come, Your Worship.
By that, do you mean that you know of people that you would approach, or are you talking about people coming to you and say, I've got info?
Correct, Your Worship. People that might come, Your Worship, even people that will be identified, Your Worship, along during the course of investigation, Your Worship. Like I said, Your Worship, that we're still waiting for some of the down routine, Your Worship. And get information that it might be suitable for the purpose of trial, Your Worship, where you might also approach.
Constable Mutlawu, I think what Mr. Venter is actually asking you, and Mr. Venter, you can supplement if if you have to, is that have you identified potential witnesses that you still need to obviously consult with and take down statements, or are you hoping that further witnesses will on their own come forward?
Your Worship, my take is that, Your Worship, we're going to be led, Your Worship, by the cell phone downloading that we're going to get from the technical support information. If maybe we can identify or maybe get some information through those downloading, Your Worship, then we might possibly approach some of the people that will be identified, Your Worship, by that evidence, Your Worship.
Thank you. As your investigation stands at the moment, you are ready to go to court with it for trial?
Not now, Your Worship. Like I said, that we are still waiting for some evidence that will come
from the cell.
But I don't think it will be long, Your Worship.
Okay. But that's all info that you are waiting for.
Correct, Your Worship.
And from that, you might identify people that you would like to talk to.
Correct, Your Worship.
Or you might not.
We might not, Your Worship.
It's not possible for accused number 2 to now identify those possible potential witnesses.
Can you repeat, Your Worship?
The
Mr.
other
Venter,
matter,
all right, the witness hasn't answered your last question. Do you want to put it to him again?
that
You
I was under the
making a
impression he
point?
said correct, Your Worship.
He asked for you to repeat it.
Okay, I apologize. If you cannot identify those witnesses at this stage, accused number 2 can't also. Are you in agreement with that?
Cannot.
If she's released on bail, she would not be able to identify those potential witnesses.
Your Worship, we don't know which witnesses that might come after all this downloading has been done, Your Worship.
The other matter from your evidence which you identified as very important is the anger of the community.
Correct, Your Worship.
And you explained that that anger is aimed at seeing justice to be done.
Communities demanding justice.
And in this case, that is exactly what's happening. Justice is in process.
Justice is in process, Your Worship.
And may I add very, very quickly, in this particular case, is that your experience?
Your Worship, I don't know what will be the outcome of the verdict after all the trial, Your Worship. But one thing that I can tell is that the state has a strong case against all 3 accused, Your Worship. And then if we present our case at the National Court or High Court, Your Worship, there's a possibility, high possibility that justice will be done, Your Worship.
Constable, that's not my question. You made an arrest very quickly. You completed your investigation very quickly in this particular matter.
Your Worship, I wouldn't say whether it was quickly or but I think we are within the right track, Your Worship.
The accused are before court.
Correct, Your Worship.
And I put it to you, that's exactly what the community want to see, that something is done when a crime is committed.
Correct, Your Worship.
And that's happening.
It's happening, Your Worship.
Can you tell us if there's any anger, or did you find any anger from any of the witnesses against accused number 2?
Yes, Your Worship, when the witness, Your Worship, that, put all the blame, Your Worship, on accused number 2, Your Worship. It is a state police investigation.
Your testimony in chief was that she immediately, when she was confronted, told you what happened.
Correct, Your Worship.
And I put it to you that she's not angry towards anybody involved in this matter.
Well, to me, Your Worship, she was angry.
Are you saying that she was angry to the witnesses? Accused number 2,
Accused number 2, Your Worship. She was angry, Your Worship, to find herself blaming somebody else, Your Worship. I understood the question for Your Worship.
But she told you everything when you confronted her. That was your evidence.
Yes, Your Worship, she told us everything, Your Worship.
And she took you to certain places where the other accused were found.
Correct, Your Worship.
And she made a full statement before a magistrate, a confession. That was your evidence.
She was willing, Your Worship. The next day, Your Worship, first thing in the morning, Your Worship, I arranged with the prosecuting authority, Your Worship, and then she made a confession for Magistrate, Your Worship.
She was fully cooperative.
She was, yes, Your Worship, she was cooperative, Your Worship. Only after arrest was, effected, Your Worship.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
I'm
that.
saying she only became cooperative after the arrest was effected, after she has been, arrested.
Yes. Did you expect her to be cooperative before that?
Worship, she was the first person that we went to, Worship.
As far as accused number 2's property is concerned, you said she lived with her father on a plot.
Correct, Worship.
And her father is confined to a wheelchair. Can you confirm that?
I can confirm this.
And her 2 minor children were also staying on the same premises with her. Are you aware of that?
Yes, Worship, but I was later informed that Worship, he somehow directly resided in Centurion, Worship.
Yeah.
What I did from Canada, apparently, their father, Worship, took them to Victoria, Worship, biological father, Worship.
Is that what accused number 2 informed us?
Yes, yes, Worship.
That's correct. They were taken by the biological father to be cared for.
That was what I was told, Worship.
Did you establish to whom that plot belonged?
Worship, accused number 2, she told me that the plot, Worship, belongs to her parents, both her father and her late mother, Worship.
I put it to you that she bought that plot 4 years ago from her mother and her father and paid for it.
It didn't come to my attention, Worship. She told me that it's her parents' plot, Worship.
And you accepted it, what she told you.
Yes, Worship.
The plot is registered in her name. That is my instructions.
I do not know about it, Worship.
And the value, did you establish the value of that property?
I do not know the value, Worship. One thing that I know that it's currently in the market, Worship, because when we first went there, Worship, there was also a court, Worship, that is being for sale, Worship.
And if I put it to you that the value is estimated at 1.7 million, will you be able to dispute it?
Worship, when I asked accused number 2 how much are they selling the plot for, Worship, she said it's going for 850,000, Worship.
So you asked her.
But I wouldn't dispute if maybe he's saying it's 1.2 million. It's quite a huge plot, Worship.
Good. And there's, my instructions is that there's also an workshop erected on the plot.
Correct, Your Worship.
And that she rented that out. She's renting it out to derive an income from that.
That's what she told me, Your Worship.
I put it to you that the fact that she's a property owner, she's got a fixed income, that she will not evade her trial. She will not flee.
Your Worship, at this stage, Your Worship, I cannot confirm whether she's the owner of that plot or not, Your Worship. Even if she was the owner, Your Worship, the accused before this court, Your Worship, she's a danger to women and children, Your Worship.
She's a danger to?
Women and children, Your Worship.
Why do you say that?
Your Worship, one of the person again that was affected by this crime, Your Worship, being the mother of the victim, Your Worship, she got injured along the way during the time when the child was kidnapped, Your Worship. We have medical records, Your Worship, to prove that, Your Worship.
So are you saying she will do it again?
It's possible, Your Worship. They need money, Your Worship. They all need money.
That's your perception.
That was the motive behind the crime, Your Worship. This stage.
She's got no previous conviction. She's never done anything like this before. You agree?
I agree, Your Worship.
She's 40 years old.
Correct, Your Worship.
This is her first offense.
Correct, Your Worship.
Why do you say she would do it again?
It's possible, Your Worship, that she might do it again.
Do you have any information indicating an inclination that she will do it again?
Not yet, Your Worship, but it's possible, Your Worship.
It's possible. And that's your opinion.
Correct, Your Worship.
Do you have any tangible evidence that she will intimidate witnesses?
One of the state witnesses, Your Worship, crucial state witness, Your Worship, she's her niece, Your Worship, if not a cousin of accused number 2, Your Worship.
She's related to number 2.
She's related, close related, Your Worship.
But she's made a statement.
She made a statement, Your Worship.
It's part of your investigation.
It's part of my investigation.
Under oath.
Under oath, Your Worship.
How will she be able to intimidate the witness?
Your Worship, it's possible that she might directly or indirectly, influence the witness, Your Worship.
To do what?
Because, Your Worship, before this crime was committed, Your Worship, these are people that were more or less spending the whole time together, Your Worship. Most of the time together, Your Worship.
That's not denied. My question is not answered. In what way will she influence her to do what?
Your Worship, it's possible that she might influence her, Your Worship. Probably not even to come to this court to come and testify, Your Worship. We do not know. It's
and
possible.
you base that on the fact that they were closely related and friends.
Correct, Your Worship.
And that's the only indication that you have to that effect.
Correct, Your Worship.
Constable, I put it to you that the evidence that you've submitted, the fact that your investigation is virtually completed, there's no real grounds on which you can oppose a bail application, except that you indicated it's a very serious crime and the community and flight risk.
Your Worship, I've already made my submissions, Your Worship, why this court must not grant bail, Your Worship.
And I put it to you, you could not give us any tangible grounds on which that is based.
I think, Your Worship.
I put it to you, there is no likelihood that the accused will endanger the safety of the public or anybody.
She has already done that, Your Worship.
No likelihood that the accused, if she were released on bail, will attempt to evade her trial.
It's possible, Your Worship.
Possible. No likelihood that the accused, if she were released on bail, will attempt to influence or intimidate witnesses.
It's possible, Your Worship.
No likelihood that the accused, if she were released on bail, will undermine or prejudice the objectives of the proper functioning of the criminal justice system.
It's possible, Your Worship.
And there is no likelihood that the release of the accused will disturb the public order.
It will definitely disturb the public order, Your Worship.
My impression, Constable, is that the only real reason for the application, for the posing of this bail application is the high profile that this case got from the public
Your Worship,
or the media.
Your Worship, there's been other cases, Your Worship, that have never attracted media attention like this one, Your Worship. We've been going to those courts, Your Worship, without media present, Your Worship, opposing bails, Your Worship, for crimes like this, Your Worship.
Because there were grounds to do it.
If you feel, Your Worship, that there's a need for us to oppose bail, Your Worship, we do oppose, Your Worship. This is not the only case, Your Worship, or the first case in this court, Your Worship, where a bail application is being done.
I've got no further questions, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. May I proceed, Your Worship? The court, please. Constable, you confirm that you are employed in the South African Police Service, is this correct?
I am, Your Worship.
And you mentioned that you are based in the family. I didn't quite get the full.
Okay, its abbreviation, Your Worship, is FCS.
Yes,
Family Violence, Child Protection, and Sexual Assault Unit, Your Worship.
You said family violence?
Family Violence, Child Protection, and Sexual Assault Unit, Your Worship.
And you testify that you have 10 years of service with the South African Police Service, correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
Of which 6 of those years you served as an investigating officer.
Correct, Your Worship.
And in those 6 years as an investigating officer, you dealt with mainly matters under the unit that you are based.
Not only this matter, Your Worship. Firstly, I started working at serious and violence crimes, Your Worship. So then I also did part of assault issues and that, Your Worship. I'm 4 years now, Your Worship, investigating this kind of cases, Your Worship. In a family, in FCS environment, Your Worship.
So you've been 4 years in the FCS environment.
Correct, Your Worship.
And more or less, what kind of cases are dealt with in the FCS environment?
Your Worship, we deal with all crimes against women and children, Your Worship. Be it sexual assault, be it assault, be it children's murder, being it related crimes, Your Worship. We deal with a lot of cases, Your Worship. But mostly crime against women and children, Your Worship.
So these are just crimes, deal with crimes against women and children. Does not include any other gender, so to say.
Anything that is sexually related, Your Worship, comes to us. The male that has been sexually assaulted, Your Worship, it will also come to our unit, Your Worship.
And in the past, during your 4 years of service as an investigating officer, had you dealt with a matter of this magnitude?
Which one?
This matter that you are before court for?
Your Worship, I've never investigated an extortion before. This is my first case where an extortion is involved. But as for kidnapping, Your Worship, I've done a lot of them.
You said kidnapping, you've done a lot of them.
A lot of them, Your Worship.
And can you give an indication approximately, not to say to be exact as how many cases of kidnapping you've dealt with, but just an indication, more or less?
Your Worship, I can't give the exact, but there's been 56 dockets that I investigated in the past where a charge of kidnapping was also involved. There's been a lot of kidnapping dockets that I've investigated.
So you say about 50 to 60 cases?
Can be more, Your Worship.
And in these dockets that you investigated, the perpetrators were males, females? Not the victims, the perpetrators.
The perpetrators.
Yeah, the alleged perpetrators.
Alleged perpetrators.
Yes.
This is the first female perpetrators that are involved in that case. There's always been males, Your Worship.
And still on the issue of those 50 to 60 dockets you've investigated or more, the victims in such dockets, what did they constitute of?
It's mostly women and children, especially female. People, yeah, victims, Your Worship.
And the same dockets that you've investigated, did they include any violence, so to say?
Your Worship, any kidnapping, Your Worship, there's a violent nature. There's no kidnapping that doesn't have a violent nature in it, Your Worship. All of them, they have.
Yes, but we're not being general now. We're being specific to the issues the matters that you've investigated. I'm asking about the matters that you've investigated.
Can you raise up?
Has there been a degree of violence of some sort?
Bishop, can you raise up his voice? I can't hear you.
Try to speak a bit loudly.
Please, Your Worship.
Mr. Chairman, so that the witness can hear it.
Mr. Court, please, Your Worship.
Having a trouble hearing.
Oh, Mr. Court, please, Your Worship. I'm asking about the dockets that you've investigated. Has there been any degree of violence involved? Let's not, before you answer, let's not try to be general and say any kidnapping matter is violent in nature. We are still on the line of the matters that you have investigated. I'm now asking about the matters that you have investigated. Has there been a degree of violence of any nature?
Yes, Your Worship. Some physical violence, your worship, in them, some it's just verbal, your worship.
What would constitute verbal violence?
Your worship, if I come, let me just make an example, your worship. Because it's clear that he doesn't understand the kidnapping. Kidnapping, your worship, you don't have to go there, your worship, and grab somebody and then go with the person. You can also use violent words, your worship, in order to kidnap somebody, your worship, without even grabbing the person by force, your worship, like the victim was grabbed, your worship. You can simply go to the person, your worship, and then infiltrate the person, your worship, talk some words, your worship, that will make the person fear, your worship, and then ended up going with you, your worship.
So perhaps maybe threatening.
Correct, your worship, with words, your worship.
Seeing that I don't understand what kidnapping constitutes, did you understand the question that I posed to you?
Can you repeat this question, your worship? I think I've answered the question.
I asked what constitutes verbal violence. Let's be specific about this. Let's for now drop verbal violence in the context of kidnapping. Let's focus on what verbal violence is. I want to understand the issue of verbal violence according to your understanding. What constitutes verbal violence?
When you go to somebody, that's my understanding, your worship. I might be wrong, but this court will correct me, your worship. My understanding with verbal violence, your worship, if I go to you, your worship, and then threaten you with words, your worship, without physically assaulting you, your worship, and then you ended up doing what I'm telling you to do, your worship. Personally, I think your worship is constituted to verbal violence, your worship.
Would it also include this verbal violence? Would it include a threat of physical violence, or it excludes it? If you're saying that I go to you, I threaten you in order for you to do something and you end up doing it, would it also include a threat of physical violence?
Your worship, in some instances, your worship, if you are not doing what I'm telling you to do, your worship, and then I can also use physical violence for you to cooperate, your worship.
Now, let's go to your examination in chief. You said you went to the address of accused number 3, who's applicant number 3 in this matter, and you only found a bed and packed bags. Is this correct?
Correct, your worship.
When was this?
Your worship, it was on Wednesday, the 4th, your worship, of September, your worship.
And the accused person was not there when you found this?
He was not there, your worship.
This was around what time? More or less?
If my memory serves me well, your worship, it was just around between 8 and 9, your worship.
In the morning, in the evening?
In the evening, your worship.
And what was the purpose of you going to this accused number 2's residence on this day? Was it to effect an arrest? Was it to question? What was it? What was it to do? What was the purpose of?
It was to question your worship, but when you arrived there, we already had a prima facie case against the worship. There was a strong possibility of arrest also, your worship.
Okay. But now let's clarify and be sure of what was the initial purpose of going there. Was it to arrest or was it to question?
To get answers, Your Worship.
It was to get answers. So I'd be correct in saying that there was no duty, so to say, of the accused person being at that property at that time, as at that stage he was not an accused person before court. Would you agree with me if I said that?
At that time, Your Worship, I don't think that he was aware that we were looking for him.
So then that would negate the issue of the accused person supposedly trying to evade the police at that stage.
Your Worship, he has said it already. He has said it to us, Your Worship, that after they have received that money, Your Worship, he was on his way to Delhi with his wife, Your Worship.
Costa Ronco, that is not what I asked you. I have not gotten to the part of what the accused said to you. I don't even know what money you're talking about.
Okay.
Let's focus on what I'm asking you.
Can I ask again?
Yes. I asked you, would you agree with me that at that stage when you went to visit the accused address, there was no legal duty of any nature for you to find him at that address at that time, as you also just considered that he was not even aware that the police are looking for him. He was not an accused person before court. Therefore, if you go to the address and you don't find me there, then it negates the issue of him trying to evade at that stage.
No, at that time, Your Worship, he was not aware that we were looking.
Yes. So you will agree with me that at that stage it negates the issue of him trying to evade any justice, so to say.
Prior to arrest, yes, Your Worship.
And when did you first learn that the accused number 3 had sold his property? When was the first time this came to attention?
Your Worship, when we arrived there around between 8 and 9, when we firstly arrived there, Your Worship, there's a lady that is residing in that plot, at the back of the plot. Your Worship. She was the one that told us that the accused number 3, Your Worship, is supposed to leave the plot in a day or two, Your Worship, because the new owner, Your Worship, has been struggling to occupy his property that he bought from accused a few months ago, Your Worship.
So
he also confirmed it, Your Worship, that sold.
So you are aware that this property the sale of this property was, I will not say effected, but it was instituted prior to the arrest of the accused person.
Yes, Your Worship.
And do you know around when?
Your Worship, I can't tell when, Your Worship, but I think, Your Worship, the proceedings started sometime around June, Your Worship, when the property was being sold, Your Worship.
Why do you say June?
He said it to me, Your Worship, that he has been waiting for his money since from June because of the legal, and the bond registration, Your Worship. It took a bit longer, Your Worship.
Who said that to you?
The accused number 3, Your Worship.
When did he say this to you?
Your Worship, when I was obtaining his bail, prosecutor's bail, information, Your Worship.
When was this?
Your Worship, it was on Sunday, Your Worship, just a day before he appeared in court, Your Worship. I can't remember the first appearance, Your Worship, was, when was it? I think it was last week, Monday, Your Worship. A Sunday before that, Your Worship.
9th of September.
Yes, Your Worship, when I obtained his.
9th September was when? It was Monday.
He said it was on the 8th, Your Worship, when he was telling me that, when I was obtaining his prosecutor's bail information, Your Worship. When I asked him whether he owns a property, Your Worship.
And if I put it to you that this is not the case, will you dispute that?
Is disputing what issue?
That the sale was not instituted around June 2019. Will you dispute that?
The plot?
Yes.
Your Worship, I wouldn't know when it started, Your Worship. I mean, I wouldn't know when the exact month or date when he started putting his plot or on the market, Your Worship. I wouldn't know, Your Worship. One thing that I know is that it has a new owner currently, Your Worship. That owner has already occupied that plot. When did he start selling it? I don't know.
Let me ask you this then. Are you of the opinion that the sale of this plot was effected as a consequence or as a result of him trying to evade this trial? Are you of the opinion? Are you of that opinion?
What?
Are you of the opinion that the sale of this plot was effected as a result of him being before court for this matter?
Because the plot was already in the market way before this crime was committed.
Yes, I'm now asking. Did you get what I'm asking? The question I'm asking. I want to get your opinion. Are you of the opinion that the sale of this plot, seeing that it happened around the same time when the accused was arrested, are you of the opinion that the sale of this plot was effected as a result of the commission of this offense? Bearing in mind that you testified that this offense was premeditated. You remember when you said that?
Your Worship, the plot was sold way back. The owner of the plot, Your Worship, was supposed to occupy his property, Your Worship, almost few months, a month or 2 months before the accused was arrested, Your Worship. He had to leave on that day, Your Worship, because he had a notice from the new owner that since when he already bought the plot, Your Worship, he wants to occupy his place, Your Worship.
All right, then that would mean then you will agree with me when I inform you that that plot was sold for other reasons, unbeknown to you and I.
Well, what I heard, Your Worship, from the accused, Your Worship, was that since when he was no longer working, Your Worship, he couldn't afford, to pay the bond, and hence it got more interest, Your Worship, to such an extent that even if when it was sold, Your Worship, he didn't get anything about 10,000, Your Worship. He said he got about 6,000 for that plot, Your Worship.
Are those not the other reasons I'm talking about? Are you not in agreement?
Of what, Your Worship?
Constable Mtlow, the issue here is that you want to agree with me, however, you want to substantiate and explain what I'm asking. You and I are basically in agreement that that plot was sold for other reasons. Virtually by your response, you are agreeing that the plot was sold for other reasons.
Yes,
however, you do not want to coin it in those terms. You want to explain that the accused person was in debt, the accused person needed money and all these things. Are we not in agreement that this plot was sold for other reasons?
Your Worship, he sold the plot, Your Worship, because he couldn't afford it anymore.
Yes, are those not other reasons?
I agree, Your Worship.
We're in agreement.
Correct, Your Worship.
And you testified that as a result of that plot being sold, obviously they had to move out, him and his wife. Is this correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
And do you have any knowledge as to where they had to move to? Or, where they had to move to? Do you know, perhaps?
Your Worship, I do not know. But according to the accused, Your Worship, he said he was going to Durban with his wife. Your Worship. His wife also confirmed it to me, Your Worship.
He said they were going to Durban.
They were actually planning to move out from Gauteng, Your Worship, to go to Durban precisely, Your Worship.
Just to take you back, Constable Mtlawu, you testified that accused number 3 is not from this side. Is this correct?
What I heard from him...
No. Answer my question.
Correct, Your Worship.
Yes.
But he's a South African citizen, Your Worship. He
Yes.
was-
When we say this side, for purposes of not confusing anyone, we refer to the VAL area. When we say this side, are we in
Okay.
agreement?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
for
fine.
purposes of us being on the same page.
Okay,
When we
that's
say
fine.
this side, we're referring to the VAL area.
I will take that, Your Worship.
Yes. You testify that he's not from around this side.
Correct, Your Worship.
He is a South African citizen.
Correct, Your Worship.
According to your knowledge, where is he from?
It's somewhere in Cape, Your Worship. I'm not sure the exact place, but he originated from Western Cape Province, Your Worship.
Western Cape.
Western Cape, Your Worship. That's what I was told, Your Worship.
You got that information from who?
From him and his wife, Your Worship.
From accused number 3.
Correct, Your Worship.
I put to you, Constable Mkawun, that my client, accused number 3, was born in Valcom. Do you know where Valcom is?
I know Welcome, Your Worship.
Is it in the Western Cape?
Your Worship, what he told me, Your Worship, was that he was born and originated from Western Cape, Your Worship. The issue of Welcome, Your Worship, is new in my ears, Your Worship.
Constable Mkawun. Where is Valcom?
Your Worship, I wouldn't be sure about kilometers, Your Worship.
No,
but
I'm not asking about
It's in Free State, Your Worship.
Yes.
Yes,
It's in the Free State. So we agree that it's not in Western Cape.
Correct, Your Worship. Welcome, it's in Free State.
So now I need to understand, where did you get the issue of Cape? That was never communicated to me. I liaised with the accused person. He never informed me of being from the Cape. I liaised with the family of the accused person. They never informed me of them or anyone else, for that matter, being from the Cape. In
Yes,
fact, if anything, they confirmed what the accused person told me, that he was born in Valpo.
Your Worship, I think I've answered this. I told the defense that the accused himself, Your Worship, he was the one, Your Worship, together with his wife, confirmed to me that the accused number 3, Your Worship, originated from Western Cape, Your Worship. The issue of Welcome, Your Worship, I do not know. I only hear it now, Your Worship.
All right, then. If that is the case, this means that you and my client must have had a very fruitful conversation, and you'll be able to respond to perhaps when he moved this side, being the Val area.
No, that one, Your Worship, we didn't touch. When did he started moving in Val, Your Worship? No.
So you did not think to inquire as to how long he's been residing in the Val area?
No, Your Worship.
Your only issue was that he's from the Cape,
Correct, Your Worship.
and that was that.
Correct, Your Worship.
And if I put it to you that it is my instruction that he has been residing in the Val area for more than 10 years, would you dispute that?
I wouldn't dispute, Your Worship. I do not know.
And you'll agree with me that if he has been residing in the Val area for more than 10 years, then according to your evidence that he's from the Cape, he would no longer have any ties in the Cape area. Would you dispute that?
I do not know, Your Worship.
What don't you know?
Your Worship, I do not know, Your Worship.
What don't you know?
Your Worship, I do not know, Your Worship. Whether he still has ties in Western Cape or what, I do not know, Your Worship. I don't know his family, Your Worship. He's the only one that I know, his wife and then a daughter that I met, Your Worship. Other than that, I don't know them.
Mr. Chirwa, I think the witness, what he's testifying here,
Yes, Your Worship.
he's only testifying to what he was told by accused number 3.
Indeed, Your Worship.
Right. Any information regarding, for example, Welcome or whether he has ties in the Western Cape,
Yes.
obviously that's a version now that you're putting to him for him to respond into.
Indeed, Your Worship. And he has done so. As he's telling me about his conversation with my client, I'm also putting to him about my conversation with my client. You testified that you had a conversation with the wife of my client. Is this correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
When was this?
I remember very well, Your Worship. It was on the 5th, Your Worship, in the morning.
After he was arrested.
Yes, after he was arrested, Your Worship. And again, it was a week after that, Your Worship. Say on the, can I confirm the calendar, Your Worship? Very much, very well. The 11th, Your Worship, just 2 days after the accused appeared on his first appearance, Your Worship.
This was a Wednesday.
Correct, Your Worship.
Is the wife the only person you had a conversation with? Part of the family of accused number 3?
The daughter was, Amy'Leigh's daughter was also there, Your Worship, and the in-laws of the daughter, Your Worship.
Where about did this conversation take place?
Your Worship, I wouldn't say the exact address, Your Worship. The family requested me, you know, because there's been a lot of media personnel contacting them, but it's SW2, Your Worship.
But it's an address here in Vanderbijlpark.
It's here in Vanderbijlpark, Your Worship.
And just briefly, what was the contents of the discussion with the wife as well as the daughter of accused number 3? What was the purpose of your visit there, rather?
Further investigation, Your Worship.
Pertaining to the offense committed or pertaining to any other issue?
The case on its own, Your Worship. Everything related to the case, Your Worship.
Would this also include the issue of an alternative address for the accused person?
I asked them, Your Worship, in case he's being released, where is he going to go, Your Worship? On bail. That's what I asked them, Your Worship.
That was the
Not
question.
that I was saying he was going to get bail, Your Worship.
Yes, no, wait, we'll get there. That was your exact question to them. Where
Correct.
is he going to go?
Correct, Your Worship.
Should he get paid?
Correct, Your Worship.
And what was the response?
Your Worship, one of the family members there, Your Worship.
Which one?
Your Worship, one of the family members there, Your Worship. Together with everyone, the family on its own, Your Worship. They told me that he only have a brother that is residing outside Vanderbijlpark, somewhere in Forgeville. That is the only person that is related to here in Gauteng, close relative. But at that address, Your Worship, they don't want him. They said that he's not welcome there, Your Worship.
Yes. I want to know who did you speak to who exactly said that they don't want them at that address?
The owner of the property there, Your Worship.
Being who?
I
Not to
can't-
mention the name.
I can't remember the name, Your Worship.
I don't want the name. I don't want the name. I don't want the name. I want, let's ask it in this way, the relation to the accused person. There's no need to give me the name.
Your Worship, it's the in-laws. I don't know how to put it, Your Worship, but accused child, Your Worship, she's married to that person that is owning that property, Your Worship.
So you
The
spoke.
son-in-law of the accused number 3.
That is the mother of the son-in-law, Your Worship. Accused number 3's daughter, Your Worship, she's residing with, I'm not sure what it's a boyfriend at this stage or a husband, Your Worship, at the husband parent place, Your Worship. Yes. The owner of the house being the mother of accused.
Not to get tangled into semantics, we are referring to the in-laws of
Yes.
the accused number
Correct, Your
3's
Worship.
daughter.
Yes, being the landlord, Your Worship, was the one that said it, Your Worship.
Mr.
Even the
Kirwa,
son-in-law also, Your Worship. In fact, he was the first one to say it.
Do you need to know exactly who from the in-laws is the owner, or
Would this
are you
be-
satisfied with the?
Would this be the husband of the daughter? Are we
What?
referring to the same person?
In fact, the husband of the daughter, Your Worship, was the first one to say it, Your Worship, because he is a child, Your Worship. And then his mother confirmed it also, Your Worship.
Whose mother?
The mother of the son-in-law, Your Worship, of accused number 3.
Okay, let's clarify. In this address, the people staying there, it's the in-laws being the husband of the daughter,
Correct, Your Worship?
the daughter,
Yes, Your Worship.
the mother of the daughter, being the wife of the accused,
She was there, Your Worship. Also.
as well as the mother of the in-law. Because you spoke about a mother, so just need to understand who stays in this house. Firstly, we said it's the husband of the daughter. Do you confirm?
Your Worship, let me just try to
Mr.
explain.
Kirwa, perhaps maybe the court can come of assistance here. I think
Please,
the
Your Worship.
witness is finding it a bit difficult to exactly explain the semantics regarding in-laws in it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Constable.
Will do so,
It
Your
appears from what you are saying that the daughter of accused number 3 is living with her husband and her in-laws at this property.
Correct, Your Worship.
The house belongs to the in-laws.
Correct, Your Worship.
Right, it could be the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, or some other people.
Okay.
And to answer him also, Your Worship, the first person to say that he doesn't want accused number 3 dead, Your Worship, it's his son-in-law, confirmed by the son-in-law's mother, Your Worship.
And he is also now residing at the same
They are
property.
residing at the same place, Your Worship.
And where is the wife of accused number 3 residing?
She was there, Your Worship, on that day.
Is she residing there at the moment?
At the moment, Your Worship, she's residing there.
And you also testified that you gave them your contact numbers because they informed you about an address in Fortville,
Correct, Your Worship.
and nothing further was, or rather you were never contacted.
I've never heard anything from them, Your Worship. The only thing that I heard, Your Worship, was when the wife called me, Your Worship, because her identity, the current Your Worship, was at that stage, Your Worship.
Do you know why you were never contacted about the address in Fortville?
I do not know, Your Worship.
Let me tell you why. What you have testified to this court about your visit to that address is not true, and it is misleading to this court. Before you respond, yesterday I endeavored to contact the family of the accused person. I spoke to the daughter of the accused person. She informed me that your purpose of your visit there was not to inquire about any alternative address. As you have testified, you were there to conduct further investigations. She further went to say that you, Constable Mtohu, inquired from the mother of the daughter, being the wife of accused number 3, whether she'd be in a position to testify against accused number 3. There was never at any point where you inquired as to whether this address would be suitable for accused number 3 to stay there, whether there's any other alternative address that they could provide to you. That is the reason why you were never contacted about that address in Fortville.
That's not correct, Your Worship. How will I know that he has a relative in Fortville if I didn't even ask about any alternative place that he can go to? I did, Your Worship. I've got witnesses also, Your Worship. I wasn't there alone, Your Worship. There were some police officers that were with me that can come to this court and testify about that, Your Worship. I was not alone, Your Worship.
Okay. Since you were first aware of that address in Fortville from the family of accused number 3, did you perhaps endeavor to inquire from accused number 3 himself about that address or that family in Fortville?
No, Your Worship.
Why not?
Your Worship, I was not given any address by the defense team, Your Worship, to go and verify this and that and that and that, Your Worship. I only went there, Your Worship, to ask the family after I've done the statement that I was going to take there, Your Worship. I only asked in passing that if maybe this person can be released on bail, where can you go, Your Worship?
If I'm understanding you correctly, Constable Mtohu, you were able to speak to my client, inquire about his past as to where he comes from, inquire about his affairs as to why he sold his plot and all those things. However, you could not inquire from him about an address, or rather a place that was given to you by the family of the accused person pertaining to his own family. Do you not then think that it would have been a fruitful thing for you to do, to inquire from the accused person that, look, I was told that you might have family in Fortville. Do you know anything about this? Did you not think that that would be progressive or something of that nature?
Your Worship, the only last time that I spoke with accused number 3, Your Worship, it was on that day when I was obtaining this warning statement, Your Worship, on the 8th of September, Your Worship. When we was brought for first appearance, Your Worship, on the 9th, I've never spoke anything with him until today, Your Worship.
So if I'm understanding your submission basically about about this address is that the daughter of the accused took in her mother, the wife of accused number 3, but does not want her father to stay at the same address. If I'm understanding your submissions.
Correct, Your Worship.
In your examination in chief.
Mr. Chirwa, sorry to interject there. Mr. Constable Motlaung, regarding this address at Falkville, then,
The one,
the one in Falkville that
Yeah.
that you were informed by accused number 3's family.
yes, Your Worship.
Did you get any further information regarding the details of this address, confirmation that it is actually the accused brother who is living there, or any other details till today?
Your Worship, I did not get anything, Your Worship. I left my numbers for them, Your Worship. They never called to contact me regarding the address, Your Worship.
May I proceed, Your Worship?
Yes, please.
In your examination in chief, Constable Mtlaung, you testified that accused number 1 is the only one that is, and if I should put it in your terms, she knows the family of the victim very well. Do you remember when you said that?
Yes, Your Worship.
And you further went to say that accused number 2 and number 3, they had no contact with the family of the victim.
Yes, Your
Direct.
Worship. Yes, Your Worship. The family of the victim, Your Worship, they had no relationship with accused number 2 and 3, Your Worship. It was actually the first time, they saw them here in court, Your Worship. They've never seen them before.
Then, if that is the case, in your grounds to oppose this bail, you relied on the fact that accused number 1, 2, and 3 would interfere with witnesses in this case. However, in the very same sentence and breath, you come and say that accused number 2 and 3, and I'll focus on number 3, they had no contact with the family. In fact, you have just said that they first saw them when they came here at court. This is now after their arrest. Am I correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
Therefore, you'll agree with me that accused number 3 does not know who are the witnesses in this case.
At this stage, Your Worship, I'm not sure if maybe he's aware some of the witnesses or not, Your Worship. But there is a witness that is close related to accused number 3, Your Worship.
Constable Mtlaung, this is a court of law. We're not here on speculation. We're here on fact. I'm asking you, at this stage, and this is now as a result of your own submissions, that accused number 2 and 3 do not have any contact with the family of the victim. And you also just said that accused number 3, it was the first time that they were seeing the family of the victim here at court. Is this correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
And they've been incarcerated ever since. Is this correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
And then you will agree with me. In fact, you are inclined to agree with me that accused number 3 does not know who are the witnesses in this case. Is this not the case?
Your Worship, I think it has been revealed in here on bail application that one of the witnesses, Your Worship, is the accused wife, Your Worship.
Look, say from the wife, you mentioned that this state, they have a very strong case.
Very strong case.
Yes.
I can confirm.
And the strength of this case relies on more than one witness. That has already been established. Is this the case?
Your Worship, each and every case, Your Worship, is based on step by step. Everything just, followed. That's why during trial period, Your Worship, there will be this witness that will come first and then the other one, just to the logic of the event, how it happened, Your Worship.
Constable Mtlaung, did you understand what I was asking you right now, at this very moment? I was not asking about what happens in the trial, step by step and all those things. No. I'm saying that you testified that the state has a strong case, correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
Yes.
We
And
do.
you also testified that the state has more than one witness. Is this correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
And now you've just testified that possibly the wife of accused number 3 could be a witness in this case.
Correct, Your Worship.
Now I'm asking you, save from accused number 3's wife, is there any other witness that is known to accused number 3? If
Yes,
you don't
Your Worship.
understand the use of the word save,
Yes, Your
apart,
Worship. Your Worship.
except,
Your Worship, there is a witness, Your Worship, that when the child was kept at accused number 3's house resident, from 9 o'clock until early hours of the morning, Your Worship, she saw the child in that place where the child was kept, Your Worship. The child was introduced as some family friend child, Your Worship. There's another witness also, Your Worship, that put the child exactly at the scene. She's known to accused number 3, Your Worship.
okay? Clarity time. Accused number 3's wife is a possible witness.
Correct, Your Worship.
Witness number 1.
Correct.
Person who saw, no, wait. Person who saw the child at accused number 3's residence, another witness.
Correct, Your Worship.
Witness number 2.
Correct, Your Worship.
In your examination in chief, you also testified that, because you testified that this matter was premeditated, was planned, there was a 4th person who was with them. Is this correct?
Your Worship, I think...
No. Answer
Correct,
first what
correct, Your
age.
Worship. Correct, Your
You know,
Worship.
there was a 4th person that
Correct, Your
was
Worship.
involved.
Correct, Your Worship.
This 4th person, is it any one of these 2 people that I've
Correct,
mentioned?
Your Worship.
It's one of these 2 people.
Correct, Your Worship.
Okay? And if I'm not mistaken, you'll correct me if I'm mistaken. You also testified that there is a witness that is known to accused number 1, or who's a family of accused number 1. You'll correct me if I'm mistaken.
Correct, Your Worship.
This is the same person who is
No, it's not the same person, Your Worship.
3rd person.
It's talking another person, Your Worship. It's another witness.
Yes.
Yes, Your
We
Worship.
are counting it.
Correct, Your Worship.
3rd person.
Correct, Your Worship.
You'll recall that when you were asked by accused number 1's attorney, they asked you about how many witnesses the state entails to call, and you said between 2 and 3. Wait, Constable Mtaulu, don't jump the gun. And there was a whole argument between what's 2 and 3, because there can't be 2.5. And you were asked to take a standpoint between 2 and 3. And I'm not holding you to it.
Okay.
We're just now elaborating on what was said in this document. You eventually said 2. Is this correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
Before you answer further, we are still clarifying. It's clarity time.
Your Worship, can I answer and then he will ask?
I haven't asked a question.
Mr. Constable, just listen to what Mr. Chirwa is going to ask you. Like I said earlier, listen to the question first, or any version that he puts to you, then you can respond or answer it. Right.
Okay, Your Worship.
Yes, I haven't asked a question. We're still clarifying, and you're still assisting in this clarification. The question is coming. You said 2 witnesses.
Correct, Your Worship.
And again, I repeat, I'm not confining you to those 2 witnesses. Now we've just established that possibly it could be 3 witnesses. Is this not the case?
Questions are not the same, Your Worship.
No. I'm asking you because I want to establish the issue that you have against accused number 3 interfering with witnesses. Are we on the same page about that? That's what we're dealing with right now. Are we on the same page?
Okay, no.
I do not want you to be confused as to accused number 1, number 2, number 3. Right now, we're dealing with accused number 3. And the apparent witnesses that you mentioned as per the involvement of accused number 3, according to your submissions. Are we on the same page?
We're on the same page.
Yes. Now, we have a matter of 3 witnesses, according to the witnesses that I counted,
Correct.
which you confirmed.
Correct, Your Worship.
Okay, now here is the question. And listen carefully, Constable Mtaulu. When you were asked about potentially how many witnesses the state could call, why did you not say 3? When you said around 2 or 3, there was an argument between, is it 2, is it 3? You stand and you were quite adamant in your response. You said 2. Now where the issue of accused number 3 comes in, you're raising the issue of a 3rd person. I believe, to my knowledge, you could have just said 3 to be on the safe side.
Can I answer Your Worship.
Yes, please do.
Your Worship, these questions are totally different from what the defense is asking now, Your Worship. When the defense of accused number 1, Your Worship, raised that question, Your Worship. He raised that question, Your Worship, based on the witnesses that are closely related to accused number 1, Your Worship. And not the ones that are closely related to all of the accused before you, Your Worship.
Yes, Constable, I thought very much that is where you're going to. Just for clarity then, are you testifying here that the witnesses that you stated at the time when accused number 1 or 2's attorney was asking you questions, you confined your answers relating to that particular accused?
That particular accused, Your Worship.
And now you are saying that the witnesses are now, apart from the 2, you have additional witnesses relating to accused number 3.
Correct, Your Worship.
Okay. I was of the view that the 3 accused in this court are facing the same charge. Is this not correct? Or are they facing separate charges, which will have separate witnesses? Is this the case? I'm not confused.
Your Worship, doctrine of common people, they all face the same.
They are facing
charge.
the same charge.
Correct, Your Worship.
All 3 of them.
Correct, Your Worship.
The number of witnesses that are going to be led in the trial, should this matter go on trial, are the same witnesses that are going to implicate all of these accused persons
Correct.
in trying to prove the state's case.
Correct, Your Worship.
So what you are saying then...
And some other witnesses that will come also. Your Worship.
Yes, we are aware of that the state can call other witnesses can come forward with information, but for now, let's not focus on those witnesses. As I mentioned, we're not here to speculate. We're here for facts. And the facts are, when you questioned about accused number 1, you mentioned 2 witnesses. Now that you are questioning about number 3, there's 3 witnesses. So I just need to understand, Constable Mtlawu, are we now having 5 witnesses? Or is it 2 witnesses for accused number 1? Or 3 witnesses for accused number 3? I just need to understand that.
Your Worship, I think I've answered that, Your Worship.
You have answered it to a point, Constable, but just for clarity for the court's purpose as well. If you can answer now how many witnesses, well, you are not subject to limit it to that number, but for now, how many witnesses now has the state secured for accused number 1, number 2, and number 3?
Currently, it's 3 witnesses, Your Worship.
That is for who?
That is for the one that state's gonna bring, Your Worship.
Yes. When I say secured, I mean now you know these are the witnesses you're going to call. There might be other witnesses on your further investigations that might come forward that you might intend to call. But for now, how many witnesses have you secured for each of the accused persons?
It's 3, Your Worship.
For all 3?
For all 3, Your Worship. Including the one that I've just mentioned that was residing in accused number 3, House President, Your Worship.
So the state has secured 3 witnesses, that is for all 3 accused?
Correct, Your Worship. But there will still be another police officers that will be called during the trial period, Your Worship.
You testified that now when you were testifying about how each accused person is linked, still record?
Correct, Your Worship.
Now we're focusing on accused number 3. I don't want you to be confused. We're talking about accused number 3. You testified that he made a formal point out.
pointing out, yes, Your Worship.
Yes. When was this done?
Your Worship, it was done on Saturday, Your Worship, 7th, Your Worship, of September, Your Worship.
Saturday, the 7th of September.
Correct, Your Worship.
After arrest.
After an arrest, Your Worship.
After arrest, before first appearance.
Before first appearance, Your Worship.
And when he made that pointing out, was he cautioned about the implications of making such pointing out?
Of course, Your Worship. Whoever that was making, pointing out, Your Worship, informed accused with his legal rights, Your Worship.
When you say whoever was making this pointing out, do you know who was making this?
I know very well, Your Worship.
And when you say they informed the accused of his legal rights, is there any, I don't know if I should say any documentation or any, besides from what you were told that they informed him of his legal rights, is there a way it was signed and all those things to confirm that not only was he informed of his legal rights, they were explained to him? You must understand there's a difference between informing and explaining. Are we in agreement there is a difference between the two? Yes. So now I want to understand that prior to this pointing out being made, is there any proof to the effect that the legal rights of the accused person were explained to him?
Your Worship.
Via documentation of some sort?
Your Worship. The pointing out, Your Worship, was done according to the prescribed guidelines of the pointing out, Your Worship.
What is this prescribed guideline?
Your Worship, I don't know how to describe it, Your Worship. That pointing out, Your Worship, is being done by a commission officer, Your Worship. He completed everything that is required for.
Constable, before you get to that explanation, the prior question of Mr. Chirwa, the attorney for accused number 3, regarding the legal rights, were you the one who explained to the accused number 3 his legal rights?
No, no, it was not myself, Your Worship.
All right, you can then continue, sir.
So if accused number 3 disputes that his legal rights were explained to him, I take it that you would not be in a position to confirm or deny, seeing that you're not the one that conducted this pointing out.
Correct, Your Worship.
Now, just to close off, what makes you say, or what informs your opinion? Let's leave opinion. What informs your submission that accused number 3 will evade his trial? Because he saw this plot.
Your Worship, there's nothing that is going to keep accused number 3 in this jurisdiction of Vanderbijlpark. He was already on his way out. His bags, Your Worship, were already packed, Your Worship, when you arrived there, Your Worship.
They were packed because the owner of the property had given them notice to vacate the property. Is this not the case?
Your Worship, he told me that after he had received the ransom money, he would have received the ransom money on Monday, Your Worship. The next day, he was on his way to Durban with his wife, Your Worship, provided that they received the 2 million that they demanded, Your Worship.
Constable Mutlong, now on that answer that you just gave, how was that told to you, sir?
Can you repeat, Your Worship?
On what you just said now, how did the accused number 3, you say accused number 3 informed you of this?
Yes, Your
what
Worship.
you stated?
Yes, Your Worship.
How did he inform you? Just on you investigating or asking him questions? Is it contained in a statement? Is it contained in a confession?
No, Your Worship, it was just everything when it was done. It was already, when the statement was already, obtained. We were talking in general, Your Worship. It was like, if we had received that money, I was on my way to Durban. I had already packed my clothes with my wife. That's what he told me.
If I understand you correctly, you are now alluding to the charge of the extortion by saying that if you receive that money.
It's one of the charges.
Am I correct? Yes, of course it's one of the charges. I'm now speaking about that charge. When
Yes.
you're saying that he said to you that once he had received that money, he was off.
Correct, Yoshi.
So that does not amount to a confession of any sort.
No, Yoshi. He did not confess to me regarding the crime, the planning, and everything like that, Yoshi. The only person that gave me all those things, Yoshi, it was accused number 2, Yoshi.
But
The
now,
only thing that he told me, Yoshi, I was so stupid.
but now, Constable Mkawu, extortion involves a benefit. Is this correct?
I can't hear you.
Extortion involves a benefit.
Correct, Yoshi.
You're in agreement.
Correct, Yoshi.
So now you're saying that accused number 3 informed you of such benefit, that once he had received it,
Correct, Yoshi.
he was off.
He was off, Yoshi.
And you're of the view that it was not a confession of any nature.
I'm not sure whether will I say it's confession or what, Yoshi, because we were talking about this, Yoshi, when he was already charged and everything. We were just talking in general, Yoshi.
But you understand that the way it's coming across now, it's not coming across as a general discussion. You are trying to use that against him with regards to opposing his bail, which, might I add, you do not have any real grounds to oppose.
That's what he told me, Yoshi.
All right. So you're basing your submission on that he evades trial because he told you that once he gets the money, he's off. That's what you're basing your submission on, him evading his trial on.
Not only that submission, Yoshi.
Okay, let's establish this. Accused number 3 is employment status.
Is it?
His employment status, what is it currently?
He told me that he's unemployed.
He's unemployed.
Yes.
He sold his plot, the money went to the bank.
Correct, Yoshi.
He does not have any money.
What I heard, Yoshi, was that he got less than 10,000 for the plot, Yoshi. I don't know how much he has, Yoshi.
Let's agree that he does not have any money.
Correct, Yoshi?
For purposes of progression, he does not have any money.
Understood, Yoshi.
What resources is going to use to evade? Because then my understanding is that you are tagging him as a flight risk. Is this correct?
Correct, Yoshi.
What is your understanding of a flight risk?
Yoshi, my understanding of that is that somebody can, just disappear without go without any trace, Yoshi. Traceable movements.
Does this involve leaving the country?
It's possible, Yoshi.
Do you know whether he has a passport or not?
I do not know whether he is a passport or not, Yoshi. I did not ask him.
So if I tell you that he does not have a passport, you will not be able to dispute
I
it.
will take it, Yoshi.
And if that's the case, he will not be able to leave the country.
Yoshi, my submission yesterday, Yoshi, I said that there's been people, Yoshi, that come inside the country, Yoshi, legally, and some of them, Yoshi, have left the country illegally, so, Yoshi.
Here you go again with speculation. This is not what we're here for.
Yoshi,
We're here for facts, Pastor Mtowu.
Yoshi,
I'm asking you, a person who does not have a passport, will they be able to leave the country? You can say yes, you can say no. It's up
yes,
to you.
Yoshi, it's
All
possible.
right, then let's leave it at that. Let's not speculate about people, it's possible they can go. No, we're not here for that. We're not here to speculate.
It's possible, Yoshi.
Thank you. The issue of him interfering with witnesses and or destroying evidence. It has already been established through my learned colleagues that your investigations are virtually complete. Is this correct?
Almost
Even though
there.
they're not complete, but
Almost there, Yoshi.
almost there. So what else could they possibly hinder?
If upon release, Yoshi,
Yes.
in terms of destroying of evidence, Yoshi.
Which evidence could they
No, I'm
destroy?
asking, in terms of destroying evidence or what?
In terms of both aspects, interfering with witnesses and or destroying evidence.
Destroying evidence, Your Worship, I might not be sure. But in terms of interfering witnesses, Your Worship, it's possible.
So the issue of destroying evidence, we take it out. It's negated.
For now, Your Worship,
No, not for now. Is it negated?
Correct, Your Worship.
Thank you. Now let's focus on the issue of interfering with the witnesses. Which witnesses will he interfere with? As we have already established that the witnesses are unknown to him. The only witness that is known to him is his wife.
Also, the lady that was reading at his plot, Your Worship, at the back of his plot, the one that saw the child in accused number 3 plot, Your Worship. It's the state witness also, Your Worship.
All right. And you're of the view that their release on bail will undermine the proper function of the justice system.
Possible, Your Worship. Yes,
It's
Your Worship.
possible. All right. Do you understand what justice is?
If you may explain justice, what is it, justice, Your Worship?
I was about to do that. When we're talking about justice, Constable Mutlubu, we're not only talking about a court finding someone guilty. That is not what justice is. A court of law is tasked with getting down to the bottom of a situation that is dealt before it. And two findings could be made through the administration of that justice. The court can either find an accused guilty, the court can either find an accused not guilty. So if you're saying that it would be undermining the proper functioning of the justice system, are you then preempting that these accused persons, which, in terms of the Constitution, still enjoy the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, are you now preempting that they've already been found guilty?
Your Worship, I still maintain that. I also, maintain the concept of, innocent until proven guilty. They are still innocent, Your Worship, until either the trial court, until either the regional court, Your Worship, or high court, Your Worship, find them guilty. But we are quite confident with our case, Your Worship.
So what is your answer to you preempting that they will be found guilty? Are you saying that, or are you sticking to what you have been saying all along about the state having a strong case and all that? Is that your final answer?
Correct, Your Worship.
You also said one of the reasons that you're opposing is that they're facing a very serious offense.
Yes, Your Worship. Kidnapping and extortion, Your Worship. It's anything between, it's a minor, Your Worship, that is involved. It's anything between 15, some courts, Your Worship, they can even impose a life sentence, Your Worship.
All right. Matters that come before this court, is the seriousness rated according to you? Any matter that comes to court, is the seriousness rated?
Your Worship,
Meaning that there are more serious crimes than others.
Your Worship, crimes, Your Worship, affect all of us, Your Worship. It all depends, Your Worship, how you react after being a victim. All crimes, Your Worship, are serious in nature, Your Worship. Be it assault, Your Worship, be it common assault, be it sexual assault, Your Worship, it's crime, Your Worship. Somebody has been affected, Your Worship.
Indeed. So we are in agreement that all matters that come before this honorable court are serious in nature.
Correct, Your
Correct?
Worship. We wouldn't bring people before you, Your Worship, if crimes are not serious that are facing, Your Worship.
And in all of these other charges that you just mentioned, saying that depending on how a person reacts to what has been allegedly committed to them, in all of those offenses that you just listed, save from other ones that are also known as serious, do people in those offenses not get bail?
Some they do, Your Worship, some they do not.
Some they do, some they do not.
Discretion of the magistrate.
Discretion of the magistrate. So we're in agreement
Correct, Your Worship.
that even when you're facing a serious offense, you still deserve to get bail, unless the contrary can be proved. Is this correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
further questions, Your Worship.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
As the court pleases, Your Worship, State has 3 questions for re-examination. I just want clarity on the child of accused number 1. You indicated that she has been taken care of. What did you mean by that? Where was the accused before the accused? Where was the child before the accused number 1 was arrested? And who was staying with her? And what happened after she was arrested?
Your Worship, accused number 1, Your Worship, she was residing with the child where she was arrested. On the same day when she was arrested, her daughter was taken by the prior Your Worship. The child, Your Worship, is currently residing with the mother of accused number 3, Your Worship. And I've already informed accused number 1, Your Worship. And I was also informed by the social worker that accused number 1 consented for her mother, Your Worship, to take full custody of the child, Your Worship.
This then happened after the accused was arrested.
Yes, Your Worship.
The child was taken from her.
Correct, Your Worship.
Let's go to the second question. The legal rights, the pointing out. You indicated briefly, slightly, that there's a form or something that is written down. Firstly, I want you to tell us how it is done, who is supposed to do it, and what happens when it is done, if you have knowledge of such.
Your Worship, I might be corrected by this court, but one thing that I know, Your Worship, the only person that is permitted, Your Worship, to do a pointing out, Your Worship, it's a commissioned officer, Your Worship, within South African police service, Your Worship. And then, if I can recall the form, Your Worship, it has accused, you will ask accused whether he's willing to do it, there's no unduly influence and all of that, Your Worship, until what accused point out, Your Worship, and pictures, photos taken, and all of that, Your Worship.
If the rights of, if the accused is, the rights of the accused is explained to him, and he indicates that I want legal assistance, would that particular person who is appointed to proceed with that pointing out, proceed with it?
No, Your Worship. There was no way, Your Worship. Just like accused number 1, when she was arrested, Your Worship, she was willing to go and make confession, Your Worship. And then when I went to go and take her to the magistrate, Your Worship, she said she got instruction, Your Worship, from her previous attorney that was representing her, Your Worship, that they will submit the statement. Then I immediately, stopped, Your Worship.
If I'm correct, sir, or if you have knowledge of this form that they complete, it should be indicated in that form that the accused has indicated that he doesn't want legal representatives. It should be in that form. That is signed by the accused.
Correct, Your Worship.
Thank you. There was this confusion of witnesses to be called. There was this question that was asked by the legal representative of accused number 1 pertaining the witnesses, and we indicated 2 or 3, and eventually you said 2. And at the later stage by the representative of accused number 3, then you said 3. What made you say 2 when you were asked by the legal representative of accused number 1?
Your Worship, the reason I said 2, Your Worship, was because the defense of accused number 1, Your Worship, that question was directed to the witnesses that somehow are close with accused number 1 in this matter, Your Worship. And then that's why I said it's 2, Your Worship.
There's a possibility that that is the question, you understood the question that way, that he is asking only about the witnesses close to accused number 2.
Correct, Your
I mean,
Worship. That was
accused
my
number 1
understanding. That was my understanding, Your
of the
Worship.
question.
Yes, Your Worship.
Hence you said 2.
Hence I said 2, Your Worship.
Thank you, Worship. No further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Ngobo. Mr. May.
Just to make it clear, when I asked you the questions yesterday about how many witnesses, I asked you about important witnesses to prove your case, not who was close to accused number 1. Can you recall that?
That's how I understand the question, Your Worship. Yesterday, Your Worship.
And furthermore, when you were asked now by my learned colleague on behalf of the state, if the poll provides a question that, do you want legal representation, that referring to accused number 3 for doing the pointing out, how come did you answer the question by stating something about a confession of accused number 1?
Your Worship, it was an example that when accused number 3, Your Worship, went for pointing out, Your Worship, his legal rights, Your Worship, were explained to him, Your Worship. Even accused number 3, Your Worship, I made example with accused number 1, Your Worship, that upon her arrest, Your Worship, she was willing to go and make the confession the next morning, Your Worship. And then immediately when she decided, Your Worship, that she got instruction from a legal representative, Your Worship, I immediately, stopped with that part of confession, Your Worship.
Sir, it was not necessary for you to explain to the court something about accused number 1. The question was in relation with accused number 3.
Your Worship, I answered the question already, Your Worship.
No, you haven't.
I did, Your Worship.
It was an easy, straightforward question. In that regard, I want to put it to you. You biased, you want to bring information to this court to put the accused in a bad light, and according to you, reach possibilities that might cause them to not stand bail, not stand their trial, and influence witnesses and or to be a danger to the public.
Your Worship, I answered what I was requested to answer, Your Worship.
This last thing, Your Worship, I didn't put something to the witness while I had the opportunity to cross-examine him. I just want to put 2 aspects to the witness that's not coming out of the re-examination. If it pleases the court, may I proceed? This on the section 64D and 64E of the Act.
Your Worship, I will object to that question. It's not coming from the re-examination, Your Worship. He cannot ask that question, Your Worship.
Yes, Mr. May. Prima facie, you cannot...
It's fine, Your Worship. I'll address that in my case on behalf of accused number 1.
For argument.
I will address it then. Thank you, Your Worship. I think no further questions.
I have no questions in the re-examination. Thank you.
Re-examination, Your Worship, is not necessary. The court pleases.
Constable McClone, unfortunately, you will just have to stay in that box a little longer. The court will ask you a few questions for purposes of clarity in the matter. There has been a long and tedious examination in chief as well as a cross-examination of yourself, but the court will try not to be very long. Constable Motlaung, all right, you're going to have to obviously backtrack a little. I know there's 3 accused involved, but you're going to have to just try to refresh your memory on where exactly you were with regard to your testimony.
Understand, Your Worship.
All right, you testified, sir, in your examination in chief that you went to accused number 2's house at plus minus 11 p.m. on a night, and you found accused number 1, 2, and 3 there at the place. But you could not obtain the handset. Do you remember?
No, yes, Your Worship, correct.
When you went there, when you approached them, what did they tell you anything?
Oh, Your Worship, the only thing that they did not say anything, Your Worship, they knew nothing about this matter, all of them, Your Worship. But precisely, we're more focusing on accused number 2, Your Worship, because
Yes.
that's
That's where the handset was traced.
Yes, Your Worship, at that stage.
So
Accused
when-
number 1 was just there, Your Worship.
When you visited them, you introduced yourself as obviously police officers,
Yes,
explaining why you are there. What did they tell you at that time?
Your Worship, they know nothing about the child, they know nothing about the case.
All right, then you testified, sir, that the child was, well, fortunately found unharmed at or near the Infinity Pub, and the child was brought to the police station by a couple.
Correct, Your Worship.
All right. Perhaps maybe you're not in a position to answer that question, but to your information, do you know what the couple told you? Or,
What the
or any person who they handed the child over to?
Okay, Your Worship. What the couple told us, Your Worship, was that when they were passing Infinity Park, Your Worship, and then there was a taxi that passed. And then when it passed with a high speed, Your Worship. And then when the other couple, Your Worship, looked on the side, and then he saw a young little girl crying there, Your Worship, and then he immediately ran to the child, and then he realized that it was all over the news on that day, Your Worship, that there's been a child that was kidnapped, Your Worship, and then that's when they proceeded to Vanderbijlpark police station, Your Worship.
So from picking up the child, they proceeded immediately then to the police station.
Correct, Your Worship.
Constable, how many other suspects are at large or you are looking for?
Currently, Your Worship, we are looking for one suspect, Your Worship.
Is this now the suspect alleged to be living at accused number 3's premises?
Correct, Your Worship.
Do you know what happened to him? Oh,
Your Worship, what we know was that when we arrived there on the 4th, Your Worship, after we have arrested accused number 2, Your Worship, and then just when we entered the plot, Your Worship, and then he ran away. We chased him for almost an hour, Your Worship, around Rosasoft area, Your Worship, but we couldn't find him.
so he's still at large.
He's still at large, Your Worship. It's only his wife, that is girlfriend to say, Your Worship, that is still at the plot currently. But he's still at large, Your Worship.
So, because on what you're saying that his wife is still there, there is a possibility that you might apprehend him very shortly.
Your Worship, the intelligence is working on him, Your Worship. If they have information, Your Worship, we act.
And why I say that, because I mean his identity and everything is now known.
To the state, it's known, Your Worship.
All right, Mr. Constable, just for clarity, you testified earlier that, on your testimony, that it appeared that accused number 2 and 3 exchanged their vehicles. right, before the commission of the offence.
We have that on CCTV, Your
Right.
Worship.
And then after that, when you visited the premises, it appeared that the vehicles were exchanged back. I mean, they were given back to the rightful owners.
Yes, but Your Worship, that was only done on the road, Your Worship, not where there is CCTV camera.
Yes, but when you went to the premises, you found that the
Yes, Your Worship, yes.
Fortuner was with
at
accused number
number
2,
two's
and the
residence.
Tata was now with accused number 3.
Correct, Your Worship.
All right, you did testify that none of the accused have any pending cases against them, correct?
Correct, Your Worship.
On your information, Constable, are any of the accused before court today related to each other?
I think it's only accused number 2 and 3, Your Worship. Because accused number 3, Your Worship, his wife, Your Worship, is somehow a niece, if not a cousin, of accused number 2, Your Worship. But accused number 1 and 3, Your Worship, there's no relationship that much, Your Worship, other than friendship, Your Worship. That
And accused number 1 and 2?
1 and 2, they've been friends, Your Worship.
Friends. All right, you even testified, sir, and that is perhaps maybe an important point regarding the status of the investigation currently, right, which you testified that perhaps maybe, what did you say, 2 or 3 weeks?
Yes, Your Worship.
Right. Will investigations be complete by then, sir?
Complete, Your Worship. Right.
Right, and the matter will be ready to be enrolled for trial?
Correct, Your Worship.
This suspect that's currently at large, Constable, on your investigations, is it apparent that he was the one who actually snatched the child?
Correct, Your Worship. He was only recruited, Your Worship, on a Monday morning.
Sorry?
He was only recruited, Your Worship, on Monday morning or else Sunday night, Your Worship. He was the one that grabbed the child from the complainant and the victim, Your Worship.
But is he not the one who was living at accused number 3's
He's the same one.
premises?
Correct, Your Worship. He was
So
living
when
at
you
that.
say he was only recruited, what do you mean by that?
When the plan started, Your Worship, he was not aware of it, Your Worship. He only came on board, Your Worship, on either Sunday night or Monday morning, Your Worship.
So are you testifying that this particular suspect, who is still at large, although living at accused number 3's place, had no knowledge about any of this alleged pre-planning, but was only told on the Sunday night or the Monday morning that this is the plan and this is what's going to happen?
Correct, Your Worship.
Right, Ms. Constable, you also testified on a question by one of the legal representatives that the offence of rape and kidnapping, or kidnapping and rape, or rape separately and kidnapping, are not offences that are common in this area. In this area we mean the Vaal area, right? Which is, well, quite large. We are part of Gauteng, but if you separate the Vaal from the main metropolitans like Johannesburg and Pretoria, where obviously these type of offences might be more apparent and common. If we concentrate it or we confine it strictly to the Vaal area, right? You testified, I know later on, that you've dealt with about 50 or 60 or even more kidnapping cases.
Correct, Your Worship.
Right? This is, however, the first time you are dealing with a kidnapping case where the perpetrators are actually female.
You mean
On
this
your
one?
test- Yes, this particular one.
Correct, Your Worship. It's the first time.
On the previous ones, the 50 or 60 cases that you've dealt with,
It has always been males, Your Worship.
sorry,
Perpetrators being males, Your Worship.
being males.
Correct, Your Worship.
All right. Were they now offences that stem from Vanderbijlpark or from the Vaal area?
Your Worship. Okay, from my office, Your Worship, we work from Orange Farms, Your Worship. That includes Tharina Human, Orange Farm, your Sebokeng, your Everton, your Barrage, Vanderbijlpark, Your Worship. And then I was actually referring on the state, Your Worship, that those number of cases that I'm investigating, some of them, Your Worship, they derive from some of those police stations that we police, Your Worship.
And over how many year period are you referring to this 50 to 60 cases?
Your Worship,
More or less, I mean.
Your Worship, if I can, I might not be 100% sure, Your Worship, but one thing that I can tell you, Your Worship, is like when we go to, we have what you call Tutuzela, Your Worship, medical center here in Tharina Human, Your Worship. That's where we normally take our victims of sexual assault-related cases, Your Worship. Since from January until this year, Your Worship, because every time when we go and sign for the crime kit, Your Worship, there will be, an OP number that will say we are at number this and this and this, Your Worship. We have passed 1,000, Your Worship, of cases.
So in your opinion, sir, in your experience, it is quite common then?
Very common, Your Worship.
All right. How many cases of those? I know because you related it more to rape cases.
Correct.
Perhaps maybe the perpetrators or the offenders there kidnap the victims and commit some or other sexual assault on them. But how many of those cases relate to kidnapping where the motive is then for extortion purposes?
Your Worship, to be honest, this is my first case, Your Worship. With extortion, Your Worship, it's my first.
And in your experience, Constable, regarding those other 50 or 60 cases, they relate mainly to, or primarily to kidnapping related to some sort of sexual or physical assault.
Correct, Your Worship.
Right. What is your experience with regard to bail in those cases?
Your Worship, the state have always stood firm in those
opposing
cases.
bail.
Opposing bail, Your Worship. Any crime against a child, Your Worship, and a woman, Your Worship, we go there, we oppose, Your Worship. Always.
And in your experience, sir, was bail granted in some of them?
Your Worship, we have been successful with so many cases, Your Worship,
In bail?
in bail applications.
And then taking it further to convictions, how many convictions have you
Your Worship,
secured?
in most cases, once the prosecuting authority has decided to put the matter on the roll, Your Worship, the chances of it being between say 80-85% chances of prosecution, Your Worship. We have a high rate of prosecution, Your Worship.
Thank you, sir. Constable, you also testified that when you visited the premises of accused number 3, you found it to be, well, not conducive, not well looked after. There was a bed there, and you said that it wasn't conducive to a child being living there.
Yes, Your Worship, but the child was not kept
Yes.
in that room, Your Worship. There's just a small outside room, Your Worship, just about 2 by 2 meters. Say maybe from here, Your Worship, to there, and then from there to there, but it goes up, but there's a roof on top of it, Your Worship. But earlier during the day, she was kept in accused number 3 inside the house, Your Worship.
In that house where you described it.
Correct, Your Worship.
Right.
And then sometimes during the day, Your Worship, and then she was then taken with another door that side. That's when she was kept in that outside. I don't know what to call that thing.
Did the child now relay this to you, or did you form your own opinion about this?
Your Worship, you know, I've met children affected by crimes, Your Worship, but you know, the good thing about this one, Your Worship, she related everything. She even told us that I was not in a house somewhere. I was in a farm, Your Worship. She even said that farm, Your Worship, you pass the first house and then you enter the second house, Your Worship. That's exactly where accused number 2 is.
Accused number?
I mean, accused number 3, Your Worship, is residing. We didn't even have to go and look where the child was kept, Your Worship, because she has already told us that when you enter the house, you go this, there's a door, there's what. We found all of those things that the child related to us, Your Worship.
So this
That was prior the arrest of all of them, Your Worship.
So this relay of information was quite in detail and precise.
Your Worship, even before I can arrive at the crime scene, Your Worship, where the child was kept, Your Worship, but I had, you know, idea what does the place look like, Your Worship.
Okay, Ms. Constable, you also testified that the accused are in custody since their arrest, correctly so?
Correct, Your Worship.
However, you fear that the community might endanger the
Correct.
accused.
Correct.
What is have you got any evidence or any information to support your claim?
Your Worship, it's all over social media, Your Worship. When you don't have even to go far, Your Worship. You just type the victim's name, Your Worship, the comments there, Your Worship. You just see how angry the community is, Your Worship.
What is your standpoint, Constable, if the court imposes strict bail conditions on the accused? By that, the court means, and the court has done so in the past, and that is actually something that's encouraged by the high courts, that strict bail conditions be imposed on accused persons to report perhaps, for example, 1 or 2 times a week to the local police station in order to try to keep the accused in the area and to prevent, obviously, the accused from possibly fleeing.
Your Worship, we still maintain that, this court must not grant the three of them bail, Your Worship.
You also testified, I know there was a lot of back and forth with regard to the witnesses, how many witnesses, state witnesses, family witnesses, etc. But the central point revolves around a family member who appears to be a key witness. Right? If we can label that witness as a key witness.
Correct, Your Worship.
Is that correct? Then?
Correct, Your Worship.
Right? This particular witness, a family member, is now a key witness to you.
Correct, Your
In
Worship.
the state's case.
In the state's case, Your Worship. Correct, Your Worship.
All right, flowing from that, Constable, in a nutshell then, you are basing your opposition to the release of the accused on bail based on the strength of the state's case against them,
Correct, Your Worship.
supported by obviously this key witness.
Correct, Your
Is
Worship.
that now your main opposition to the court granting bail in this matter?
Correct, Your Worship.
All right, regarding the legal rights statement relating to accused number 3, Constable, which you've testified to, I know there is a particular form that is completed, that must be completed actually. Is that form part of the docket now?
Not yet, Your Worship. The officer that was conducting that, she has not,
But there is that
Correct, Your Worship.
legal rights form, we call it,
Correct, Your Worship.
that is completed and that will be placed obviously in the docket at the trial.
It will, Your Worship.
Right. There was some testimony regarding confessions, sir. How many confessions have you secured?
Amongst the three of them, Your Worship, it's only accused,
Formal confessions we are talking about.
correct, Your Worship. It's only accused number 2, Your Worship, that did it before magistrate in this court, Your Worship.
All right. Lastly, Constable, are you, in your opinion, being the investigating officer in this matter, having been involved in this matter from inception, are you confident, based on the strength of the state's case, that you will, or the state rather, will secure a conviction against 1, 2, or 3 accused?
We have strong case, Your Worship. We have a strong case.
Strong case, I know, but are you confident that you will secure
I'm
a conviction?
confident, Your Worship, that the state will get conviction in this case, Your Worship.
Thank you, Constable. You are excused. You can take the rest of the day off.
Okay, thanks. Thank you
Just
very
say
much.
that the court gave you off too.
All right, thank you very much, Your Worship.
Yes, Ms. Ngobo.
Does the court please worship the state at this stage will request that this matter be postponed It was actually agreed between the state and the defense worship that by 11 worship will be done. Unfortunately, I see now it's 10 to 12. The reasons being that your worship, the prosecutor in this matter, your worship,
Being yourself.
being myself, your worship, I'm going on leave, and your worship, I've already indicated to the court that I have to leave by this afternoon, your worship. I have already booked a ticket to go this afternoon, so I won't miss that, your worship. Therefore, I request that this matter be postponed.
One second, Ms. Ngobo, before we get to that argument, is that the case for the state?
Oh, the state case, your worship. I
There's no
forgot
other
about it.
witnesses that the state wants to call?
Correct, your worship. I'm in a hurry to leave, your worship. I'm sorry.
Mr. May, I know there was some discussion regarding having the matter postponed.
Your worship, will address the court on behalf of accused number 1 and 2 at this stage. We want to bring an application, your worship. I have prepared a formal application, a sworn affidavit on behalf of accused number 1, and I know Mr. Venter has done same for accused number 2. I still need have it to be signed and to be commissioned, your worship. Can I ask the court for a short adjournment, 5 minutes, then we can proceed with the application.
What is that application referring to, sir?
Your worship, the application is all about to replace the accused, especially accused number 1 and 2, in police cells to be kept in custody until the finalization of the bail application. There's reasons for that, your worship, which we address in the affidavit.
All right. Good. Let us adjourn for 10 minutes and we'll resume again at 12 o'clock.
All right. Get another prosecutor.
No, I can't. There's no one in the
Commission for us quickly.
No, I can't.
Okay, we are back on record in the matter. Mr. May.
This is the court, Your Worship. Your Worship, I've prepared an application on behalf of accused number 1. May I proceed to read it into the record?
Yes, please.
As it pleases the court, Your Worship. This is an application made by on behalf of accused number 1. An affidavit in support of an application to be detained in police cells. I, the undersigned, Tharina Human, hereby declare as follows under oath. I am the accused number 1 in this matter and currently in custody pending my bail application. On the 9th of September 2019, myself and accused number 2 were transferred to the Johannesburg Female Prison pending our bail application, which was set for the 19th of September 2019. At the Johannesburg prison, we were kept in a cell with approximately 70 other detainees. The bail application on the 19th of September 2019 was live streamed by the media. The bail application was rolled to the 20th of September 2019, which is today, and we were taken back to the Johannesburg prison. On our arrival at the Johannesburg prison, it was clear that the other inmates had access to the live streaming of proceedings of the bail application. The inmates immediately started to intimidate us and they threatened to kill us. We were kept awake all night. I really fear for my life and I don't feel safe there. In the light of the above, I humbly request the court to consider for me to be placed pending the finalization of the bail proceedings in police cells. This affidavit is done and signed to today's date at Vanderbijlpark, Your Worship. I beg leave to hand this up as an exhibit. And that completes the application on behalf of accused number 1, Your Worship.
Ms. Human, sorry, understand. Do you confirm the contents of this affidavit now? All right, you confirm also that the signature on this affidavit marked under your name is actually your signature. All right, for purpose of the record, the court will accept this into evidence and mark it appropriately as Exhibit A. That is for accused number 1.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Mr. Pieter.
May it please the court, Your Worship, I have received instructions to bring a similar application in respect of accused number 2, and with leave of the court, I will read out her statement.
Yes, please proceed, sir.
The affidavit is made by Laetitia, accused number 2, and it's an affidavit in support of an application to be detained in the police cells. I, the undersigned Laetitia, declare under oath as follows. 1. I am accused number 2 in this matter and currently in custody pending my bail application. 2. Me and accused number 1 were transferred to the Johannesburg prison on the 9th of September 2019. We were kept in a cell with approximately 7 other detainees.
Sorry,
For
you said, Mr. Fender, you said 7.
70.
70.
70. The procedure in court on the 19th of September was live streamed by the media. 5. The matter was rolled over till today. We were taken back to the Johannesburg prison. 6. On our arrival, it was clear that the other inmates had access to the media and were fully aware of what transpired in court. 7. The inmates immediately started to intimidate us and threatened to kill us. We were kept awake the whole night and really feared for our lives. 8. In view of the above, we request that the court to order that I am detained in the local police cells pending the finalization of my bail application. That's done and signed at Vanderbijlpark. With leave of the court, I will hand it in as an exhibit.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Nell, ma'am, do you confirm the contents of this affidavit? And you confirm that the signature on this affidavit, I see it's not marked as your signature, as your, or we don't know if it is signed up.
It is the signature, I will just...
Perhaps maybe you can just... Ms. Nell, then the signature under Laetitia Nell is your signature. The document is accepted and marked as Exhibit B. Okay, Ms. Ngobo, is there any opposition to the application from
Correct,
the
Your
state
Worship,
side?
there is an opposition to this application, Your Worship. Firstly, the Vanderbijlpark police station doesn't have cells. They depend on the cells of Buipatong, cells of Sharpeville, and cells of Tharina Human. The cells of the barrage police station, Your Worship, are full of illegal immigrants. That's where they kept the illegal for them, waiting for them to be deported. And then this weekend, we are informed, Your Worship, that there will be a special operation where the police officers are on duty to make arrests on the J50 warrants, J165 warrants. So the cells are going to be full this weekend. And then, Your Worship, there will be first appearances also. We are going towards a holiday, Your Worship. And lastly, Your Worship, the matter is broadcasted everywhere. Everybody knows about what is happening in court. Wherever they are going to go to, they are going to be threatened, Your Worship, or there will be a threat anyway, Your Worship. There's no way in which they will be taken somewhere special where they are not going to be threatened by anybody. Wherever they are going to go, Your Worship, it is broadcasted. They are going to be some threats, Your Worship. Everybody is angry, as it was testified by the investigating officer, Your Worship. And the state, Your Worship, tried to oppose this because it was aware that some of the things it will lead to where we are today, Your Worship. Therefore, the state strongly opposes because we do not have. And another thing, Your Worship, that I almost forgot, that the application should go to the station commander. He's the one who will be able to inform or advise the court as to whether there is a cell where they can keep the accused, Your Worship. At this stage, Your Worship, they can be taken there. There will be no space for them. As the court pleases, Your Worship.
Any response or any further submissions, Mr. May?
None, thank you, Your Worship.
None, thank you.
Look, in respect of this application, the court is obviously placed in a difficult position in the respect that we don't know how much space is at the local police cells. On the argument by the state in this respect, the accused could find themselves in a cell here, although on the affidavit there are 70, plus minus 70 odd people in the prison cell, but you might find yourself sitting in a local police cell, which is perhaps maybe a quarter of the size of that, of the prison cell, but there might be possibly 10 people in that cell, which is then totally unconducive to being kept there. Furthermore, as per what the state has said, this matter has demanded or attracted huge attention as per the application that was actually brought to the court yesterday from all over the country. It appears, therefore, and the court itself is not too involved with social media or with live streaming on YouTube or any of that sort, but even to the court's attention, it appears that there are messages floating around before even yesterday, or perhaps maybe before even the first appearance of the accused, regarding their identities, photos, stories, perceptions, etc. In respect of same, then without being informed or the court being placed in a position where it can make a proper determination by the station commander of perhaps maybe securing a type of a special type of cell or a special facility where the accused can be housed, it will become very difficult for the court to order that they be housed there. For example, if the court orders that they be kept at Boipatong, they might find themselves there with a number of inmates, and possibly that particular housing facility might be totally unconducive, especially with regard to security, etc., for the accused, having regard to the fact that a holding cell is not as secure as a prison cell. And the manpower and the facilities at a prison cell is meant for particular housing of inmates and protecting actually inmates' safety. Whereas police cells are merely there as a temporary measure for inmates to be in and out the next day. That's why people are not kept there. And it is only then first appearances, new offenders, etc. The accused might find themselves being seated next to people who are accused of perhaps heinous crimes, and their safety there might not also be protected. So until the court is not in possession of an indication by the station commander of a special type of facility where they can be kept separately from other inmates, although no special treatment can obviously be granted to them, but based on the application where their lives are actually threatened or put at risk, the court is also concerned. But a report from the station commander must be made. This court cannot order that they be kept at Barrage or Boipatong or Bopilong or Sharpeville. We don't know. Until same is obviously furnished, then the court can make an appropriate ruling. Alternatively, then the legal representatives for accused number 1 and 2 are then urged perhaps maybe to get this information, and that information can then be brought on an urgent basis to the court once the information is sought or is given by the relevant specific police station, and the court can make an order, and then the accused can obviously be moved. Obviously safety is a primary concern for the court, and the safety of anyone in this courtroom, which includes the accused person, has to demand priority in this matter. So that application can obviously be brought, but without that information, the court unfortunately cannot make any order, because the court feels that it is making an order in the dark.
As it pleases the court, Your Worship.
So the application for now will obviously be dismissed. Yes, Ms. Ngobo?
This is Your Worship, as the state has indicated before, Your Worship, the state will request that the matter be postponed for further formal bail application, Your Worship. It will be a defense of applicant's case. The date has been arranged for the 1st of October, Your Worship.
1 October.
Correct, Your Worship, for the defense to present their case, Your Worship.
Confirm, Your Worship.
All right, this also placing on record the fact that 1 October the matter is then enrolled for the applicant's case, correct?
Confirm, Your Worship.
Confirm, sir, Your Worship.
Hopefully we will be able to conclude proceedings in this matter, to conclude the applicant 1, 2 and 3's case, as well as further argument, and then it's only a matter of postponing for judgment. However, it must be recorded and made known that should the matter not be concluded, or being unable for whatever reason to be concluded on that day, the matter cannot be rolled over on 2, 3 or 4 of October, as the court is not available on those dates. The court is then only back on the 7th of October. And my understanding then is that the legal representative for accused number 3, which is Mr. Chirwa here, he is unavailable. He is on examination or training.
PLT training, Your Worship.
PLT training from the 7th, and he is only back on the 23rd.
Confirm, Your Worship.
All right. Just so that the accused, as well for the benefit of the accused, as well as the parties before the court, as well as the large presence in the court, are aware that is placed on the record. But hopefully we can conclude it then on the 1st. So matter is then postponed to 1 October 2019. The bail application remains a parthead matter. Matter is postponed then obviously for further evidence, as well as for the applicant's case in the matter. 1 October 2019, Ms. Human, Ms. Nell and Mr. Van Zyl, you are then all 3 remanded in custody, and you are to remain in custody until then.
As the court.
Close the court cases, Your Worship. That concludes our role, Your Worship.
They keep it on the line. 20 minutes.